Hey everyone, I've got my Marlin 35 Remington out. This is an older Marlin. It has the Ballard style rifling. I think it puts it made prior to 1954. The reason that I bought this particular gun, like I said, all the new ones today have the micro groove, but the reason I bought this particular gun is because of that Ballard style, but also because I am casting 200 grain lead bullets for this gun. I'm using a Lee mold. There's a Lee mold that it's a gas check mold. It's 200 grain. Using this, I'm a big fan of the 35 Remington. It's really fun to shoot. It actually has some really good performance within reasonable ranges. It's kind of known as a wood cartridges and stuff like that, and I think that is where it excelled. But I really want to reload cast lead bullets for this thing, so I wound up, actually I've got another Marlin that's a micro groove, but I wanted the Ballard style, and I did find it in this old gun. And it actually, it already had this scope mount on it, which, hey, I'm okay with scopes being on lever actions because I'm not doing it for being authentic, okay? I'm doing it really because I will use this gun for hunting. 35 Remington is good for really good for whitetail deer, and it's good for wild hogs. You just keep it within a certain, within, I particularly say, keep it less than 100 yards, really less than 80 yards. And the reason is because you want to make sure on a wild hog, you really want to make sure you get a complete pass through. And for instance, like a 30-30, I definitely with like the Hornady, the lever, that lever revolution stuff, I don't get passed through it even at 30 yards. So next, I'm gonna be putting up some videos. I'm gonna be casting some other stuff. I'll probably even try to use some something like a Barnes, like a full copper bullet, something that's just not going to expand near as much. But I want to try to get a 30-30 to do a full pass through, because if you can get something that'll do a full pass through, it really extends the range for a hog. But particularly the Hornady, like those FTX bullets, what I find is that they expand really well, but the problem is they expand too well for hogs. And what happens is when they go through the animal, they expand rapidly. There's a huge transfer of energy from the bullet to the animal, but what happens is that it stops the bullet. So the bullet just slows down too quickly and you don't get a full pass through. And unfortunately, I've lost some really good hogs because of that. And typically what that means is that if I don't find something that's going to give me a full pass through, then I need to use a larger caliber, particularly a 35 Remington. You can jump up if you're staying in the lever guns, 375 Winchester, the 45-70, or switch over to bolt guns and stuff like that. You can get into Magnum cartridges, and sky's the limit right there. But I've been shooting this cartridge. This is the second round. I think I started the first one. I can't remember. I'm using a Hornady reload metal. Now these are cast bullets, but I'm actually using data for jacketed bullets. Now any manufacturer is going to say, oh no, we don't recommend that. But what I do is I start low, and I usually start about a half a grain above the lowest posting. So let's say, for instance, for this round, I'm using 4064, IMR 4064, and I think the lowest grains was like 33 grains. So I would use like 33 and a half. I shoot it, of course I didn't see any pressure signs, so now what I did, I jumped up to 34 and a half, and I think the max on this that I can go is 35 and a half or 36. And so they show the jacketed bullets in that manual, they showed about 1900 feet per second, which I will tell you this, Hornady is very conservative on their powder charges. So you switch over to a different manual, and most likely you're going to find that they're going to post hotter rounds. You know, they'll show powder charges above what Hornady's showing. If you look, you know, I could switch over to that that Hodgen, that Lever Revolution, you know, powder, and I could push 35 Remington, a 200 grain 35 Remington up to 2,100 feet per second. But I really don't want to push this lead bullet. Now, it is a gas check bullet. I really don't want to push it to 2,100 feet per second. 1,900 would be fantastic, especially from 4064. But you know, I think I can get 1850. I really do. So I'm gonna shoot these. I got 3 rounds. I'm gonna shoot these 3 rounds. Really, just all I'm doing. I'm not doing an accuracy test. I'm just trying to get a overlook of if there's any pressure issues. Because the reason I'm not doing accuracy tests, because this should be ballpark of 1750, and that's not fast enough for what I'm looking for. Really want to be about 1850, 1950. You know, I don't think I'm gonna get 1950 from 4064, but I do think I can get 1850. So let's try these. I think these is about 34 and a half grains, and we'll see how it does. Pretty good. Got a little smoke cloud going here. Doesn't look too bad, actually. Actually doesn't look bad at all. It's bumped the primer out for sure, but it hadn't really flattened it out too much. So. I don't know what the recoil looks like on camera, but it's actually not that bad. So looking at that, it's really the same. This gun does not have a recoil pad. It just got the little plastic butt on it. It's really not that bad. All right. So kind of see it's really not that bad. I mean, that's what I was hoping to see, to be honest. I want to add 1 grain to this load, so you don't want to be seeing pressure issues in 1,750 feet per second. So good deal. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, I'm gonna reload a couple more. I'm gonna bump it up another grain. It's gonna put me up hopefully about another 100 feet per second, and I imagine that's probably gonna be getting closer to the limit. So at that, when I get to that round, that's when I'll really start looking at the accuracy, because if the accuracy will not do what I need it to do at that speed, then I probably have to switch powders. But I'd like to stick with the 4064 if I can, but we'll see.